Slack and E-Major welcome you to the My Type of Hype podcast, where we celebrate hip-hop, not just the hype.
How y'all feel out there?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back yet again to your favorite podcast, the My Type of Hype podcast with me, your boy Slack in the building as always. And my co-host extraordinaire to my left. What's happening, my brother?
Very good. We're here, man. E-Major. I know I say that every week, but it's true, man. We're here. We're in the building, man. Ready for another episode. We're here. My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip-hop and not just the hype. Slack, you saying, man? Good? Bless?
Yeah, bro. All good, man. You know, up and down week, but we're here, man. Like you said, in the building. What we got going on for today?
We're going to look at voices today, bro. Voices and flows, man. And this is crazy hypocritical of me is I hate my voice. I hate hearing my voice. I hate the sound of my voice. Do you know what I mean? But, hey, it's the bands, isn't it? And it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. And it's funny because sometimes my missus will be listening to the podcast or something, and I hear my voice. I just leave the room, bro. I'm like, man, I can't do it. But, hey, we're here, man. But, yeah, so what actually started it was I'm in a group chat, one of about 600 as always, but I'm in a group chat with a few other hip-hop heads that, you know, I respect and whatever. And I'm not going to say our names. I've got a lot of love and a lot of respect for them, but we all like what we like, innit? So when 38 Special was dropping, it was like, oh, have you heard it yet? And two of the dudes in the group was like, nah, I can't listen to that. And I was like, why? And he was like, I can't stand his voice. Like, I can't listen to his voice. And it just got me thinking, because like he's literally got one of my favorite voices, favorite flows at the time. And I'm just laughing because I'm thinking, it's just funny how we're all so different. Do you know what I'm saying?
For real.
It's different, man. So we thought we'd make a decent conversation, some of our favorite voices. And obviously we'll throw out a few that we're not feeling that much, not to diss them, but just a few to have a flip. But this is mainly in celebration of dope voices and dope flows, two completely different things we're going to look at. So we're going to kick off, man. So Slack, I'll let you kick off, man. What's one of your favorite voices in hip hop, man?
One of my favorite voices in hip hop. There's a few. Who do I start with? I'll have to go with initially. I'd have to say Rock from Helter Skelter. I think he's got one of the dope voices in hip hop. Mm-hmm. It's almost like whenever he raps, like he just commands the track. Like immediately, you just have to pay attention to whatever he's saying. And I think early on, I think he was kind of saying that his voice was, you know, his ultimate weapon kind of thing. And yeah, like just whenever he's on the track, you have to pay attention. Basically, it's one of those things. And it helps that he can rap his ass off as well. You know what I mean? On top of everything else. So definitely him. He would have to go in my starting five.
You know what's so crazy about that, bro? I couldn't even agree more. But you know me, Mr. Honorable Mention, innit? We thought, let's throw out about 5 or 6. And I've got like a list of about 15, you know, bro. I'm trying to trying to narrow it down. And you know the crazy thing, I didn't even put Rottnest down. And that's actually insane because his voice is actually so sick. And yes, one of my favorites. Crazy. But it just shows you how many dope voices there are, man. But yeah, and then when we mention a voice, maybe we'll just touch on the project we love from them. But you know, we spoke about Helter Skelter quite a few times. We love them. Hopefully you checked out the Black Million tribute last week as well. He's given a lot of love to Boot Camp in general. But yeah, couldn't agree with you more, man. And he's still got it. If you hear new stuff from him, I think he dropped about a year or two ago. Still got it, man.
Crazy, man. I don't know. I feel like he needed that project though, because when Sean Price kind of dropped Monkey Bars, he kind of elevated to a whole new stratosphere with his career. Yeah, I think Rock went to jail or something, but something derailed his career basically. Yeah. And we never really got that one album from him. Like the stuff that he's dropped is dope, but he hasn't got that project. You know what I mean? Where you can just say that's. To be honest, that's a deal with a couple of my favorites voices. They don't have that project. And it's definitely the same with this, man.
No, good shout, man. I've got a list that's very obviously gonna be stacked with a lot of obvious ones. So I'm gonna try and go for some of the less obvious ones. And at this point in time, we're only talking about voice, not flow. So I'm actually gonna go with Sadat X. I think he's actually got a dope voice, bro. Yeah, yes. It's weird because when I talk about voices I like, there's definitely a very thin line, man, because there's sometimes like it's a thin line between love and hate for some voices for me. But Sadat X, I think he's got a sick voice. And yeah, man, like you said about Rottnest, I think he can rap his ass off as well, man. I don't think Brand Nubian really get mentioned enough, really, when you think about it. They got a couple, if not classics, exceptionally good projects under their belt, man. But yeah, Sadat X, I was excited for that Wild Cowboys album, man.
Do you know what, bro?
If I'm being,
I've never listened to that album. I've never listened to that album, and I don't know
I was
why.
actually going to say, it's weird because I was actually going to say, if I'm being really honest, I was a little disappointed because I heard Wild Cowboys first, and bro, that track's insane. I know you haven't heard that album, but I'm sure you've heard Wild Cowboys.
I've heard Wild Cowboys, yeah.
Yeah, sick. You know what I mean? And remixes and everything like that. And then there's a lot of stellar producers on there, man, like Diamond D, I think even Lord Finesse, I think. They're gone from me now, but a lot of good quality producers on there. But I just felt like the album never really made me want to continue going back to it. And it was a surprise because I can listen to Sadat X rap all day, man. But yeah, definitely worth a revisit or a visit in your case. But you may come to the same conclusion. But yeah, Sadat X is going to be one I'll throw out for just a voice I love and I can listen to.
Big up for that one, man, because that will make me go and actually listen to the album. Because I remember when the album first came out, there was kind of like a dearth of hip hop releases. There wasn't really anything hitting, and I remember I used to walk into the record shop all the time, like hoping for something new. And I walked in there, and it was them in like cowboy hats and shit on the cover.
Yeah,
I'm not interested in that shit, bro. So I just left it. I didn't go near it. And I don't know, I just never got around to, because I went in a couple times and it was always there. And I was like, man, I think even one time I took an album back because it was trash.
Right.
And then I was looking at what was new and that was the only thing. And I still didn't change it for that. And I was like, I'm not feeling this cowboy aesthetic now. I'm not.
Yeah.
But I'm over that now. So I'm going to check it out. That's gonna be
that's another topic in itself. Some albums have got terrible covers, but the inside is
yeah.
I haven't actually visited again for a few years, so I think it's worth a revisit for me as well.
Yeah, but, I'm gonna throw that on in a bit.
Yeah, man, definitely. All right, who you got next for voice you love?
All right, man. Well, we said that we're gonna stray from the obvious, but I'm gonna throw out one very obvious one. So R.I.P. to Guru, but he's the man who said it's mostly the voice. So I don't think it'll be right for us to talk about the greatest voices in hip hop without mentioning Guru.
100%.
I think his voice definitely carried a lot of his raps. I never used to be a fan of Guru, if I'm being honest with you, man.
Same.
I used to think he was very monotone. I didn't think he was the greatest MC. I didn't think I never thought he was whack ever. Like I thought he was dope, but he just wasn't among my favorite. Like if I was talking about my favorite MCs, he wouldn't be one of them. But as time goes on, I've appreciated him a lot more. And this weren't because he died. This was before he died. But because I think like the Jazz Pataz albums, I wasn't really feeling a lot of that too. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of the stuff that I liked was with Primo. Same with J-Ru. Like J-Ru outside of Primo, I'm not interested. But so then I was like, do I like Gangstar because of Primo? But when I've heard Guru on a few more songs, then I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But mostly the voice for real for Guru. So
yeah,
I couldn't agree with him more on that one. So I couldn't not throw him out there.
Yeah, no, good shout, man. I think I said it a few years ago that, like you, I didn't really appreciate Guru, man. I thought, and I'll say it now, it sounds blasphemous now, but I actually felt like the whole setup used to annoy me because I used to feel like Primo's beats were wasted on him. That's how I used to feel. You get me? Seriously, that's how I used to feel. Because you know why? Because I felt that Primo's sound changed a little bit for Gangstar albums. Like whenever he produced outside of Gangstar, I felt like they were a bit more hype. So I felt like he almost pulled it back a little bit to suit Guru a little bit more.
He would
do you know what I mean?
So you can tell he made beats specifically for the artists he's working with.
Exactly.
And I think even on one of the skits on a gangster album, Guru was talking about having a formula. So he's like,
yeah,
we update our formulas.
Yeah.
Like the sound is gangster, but we just update our formulas every time we drop an album.
Exactly
so
that.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So there's definitely that. But then, like you, there was a time when I was just doing a deep dive, man. As I like to do with, even if I've heard an album 100 times, sometimes I just like to do a deep dive into a catalog. And I just thought, you know what, man, Guru's actually so sick. Like his voice, and to have such a monotone voice. And bro, like, I know we're talking about voices and not flows or anything like that, but you know what? He never gets mentioned enough for when we're speaking about gems and jewels. Like every verse, he's dropped gems, you know, bro. But like, because he ain't got the razzmatazz with it, it can just go over your head. I remember I was driving back from somewhere, it's just me and my son, and I was playing Moment of Truth. And we was talking in the car, obviously music's playing, and the actual song, the title track, Moment of Truth, came on.
That tune's big.
We weren't saying anything. And my son was just listening. He's 9 years old. And I remember when the track finished, he said, I like that song. He said that, and I said, what do you like about it? And I said, I like what he's talking about. It makes a lot of sense. And I just thought, here's a 9-year-old just grasping the gem from, you know what I mean? And but yeah, I definitely appreciate it, man. So much more now.
For the children, man. That's exactly the kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, when them MCs are talking about hip hop is for the kids, that's exactly what they're talking about. You're 9 years old, you're catching on to what this man is saying. I was around the same age when I started listening to native tongues and stuff like that. So yeah, big up to your son for that, man, for real.
Yeah, man. Good shout. All right, so I'm gonna go next with Yuckmouth from the Loonies. I think Yuckmouth's got one of the sickest voices, bro. Like, and it almost like, from Operation Stackola, we know, dope then. But I don't know, there was something around 97 time with Lunatic Music. 96, 97 time with the Drew Down albums. He was all over that as well. And then he dropped his own solo album debut, the double album.
That was 99, wasn't it? The whatever.
Fugged Out Abulation.
Whatever
like that. Something like that.
Yeah,
that was 99. So I was waiting for that because like I said, 96. Obviously the Loonies debut I love, but I prefer Lunatic Music myself, even though it doesn't have that standout classic single. Same. I prefer that album. And then I'm a big Drew Down Can You Feel Me album era fan, big time. So yeah, Yuckmouth was just all over that, different remixes and that. And then when I heard saw it in the source that the solo was dropping, I was like, yeah. So I've always been a Yuckmouth fan anyway, but I just thought his voice is the sickest. But the reason I mentioned 96, 97 time is because it started to get like more coarse. I don't know if he was smoking different grade, I don't even know, bro. But it just got, not like Dave East, like got weird course, but like Looney's Yuckmouth got sounding better course. And I just thought whenever he was on a track, it just lifted it for me, man. So whenever I speak about voices, Yuckmouth is always someone that comes to mouth, man. I think he had a sick voice, man. Definitely an artist I check for a lot, man. So yeah, that would be my other choice. Looney's very real.
All right. I'm gonna go for Foxy Brown as my next pick.
Ooh, good shot.
I think early Foxy, like I was listening to what's that song, man, on the Firm album? It's got Nature on it. Nature tears that shit. Like they all do, but it's Nas, AZ, and Foxy. I don't think they all got verses on there. But anyway, her verse.
That's not Desperado.
No, not Desperados. They're talking about if we just play our part, we're gonna get this money.
I know it, but the track's gone for me because I never spent a lot of time with
the name of it, but it's a hard track. It's actually one of the best tracks on the album. The beat part. But I was like, Foxy's voice is sick. And then you listen to like the Who Shot Your remix. Again, very, very sick. So she kind of had like you don't really hear female MCs with this. Like MC Light had a very similar kind of sound to her voice, where it was kind of just very kind of like she was swallowing a razor blade, but she was sexy with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I loved her early voice, man. Obviously it changed over time, but yeah, Foxy Brown, man, definitely deserves a mention.
That's a good shout, man. And she's not mentioned that. I know I say that a lot, but she's really not mentioned enough, actually.
Do you know what, bro? I
When
was
you think
thinking when I
about
was
a lot of
listening to that
females.
as well. I was like, if she came out in this era, she'd tear shit apart, bro.
Yeah,
Just from the whole look, the aesthetic, because that's what these
yeah,
people they seem to listen to music with their eyes nowadays. So I'm thinking
exactly.
like Foxy Brown now, because she could actually rap and she looked good, bro. She'd kill it right now. She'd absolutely murder it.
100%, man. Because we're always giving like Kim her due props, which is, you know what I mean, understandable.
Fox was
But
right there with Kim, right there.
yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. I hate the way they were pitted against each other in the early days, but
Right.
yeah, definitely good shout, man. All right, I'm gonna follow your lead, bro. And I'm gonna go with a woman as well. I'm gonna go with Sa Rock. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sa Rock. I've heard I'm laughing because one of the same brothers that said what you said about Spesh said the same thing about her
Yeah, I
and
can't.
Stovebird as well, actually. But yeah, her voice is very Marmite, like Stovegod and a few others that might get mentioned today. It is definitely Marmite. And if I'm honest with you, I don't think I really checked for it or her much before. I know she's got a catalog before, but it was the Sharecropper's Daughter album for me. I think that was one of my favorite albums of 2020, man. And I just thought, was it 2020 or 2021? Either way,
I think it was around the pandemic time, wasn't it, that it came out?
yeah, so it must have been about 2020, yeah. But I thought I was listening to that a lot, and I thought, this album was actually so sick. And her and her, I think she was on Shay No's album at one point. She done some stuff with Spesh, and she obviously had the track with Black Thought, and I don't know, Ransom. And I was just hearing her with other people. I just thought, you know what, she's actually got a sick voice. Like when you hear a track, and when that person comes on, and it's just like, it kind of commands you to listen. It stands out, and you're like, yeah, that's one to watch, one to remember. So, and even on the Sharecropper's Daughter, she had some heavyweights on that, man. She just always held her own. I know we're not talking about lyrics or flow at the moment, but just voice-wise, I think she commanded it and held it down. So, yeah, I like her voice, man. She'd definitely be someone I would mention for voices. But I get the Marmite.
That's the one thing that puts me off her music is her voice. So
really? Wow.
But again, like you were saying before, it's all about some voices put you off, some voices draw you in, some voices that might turn you off. I might be like, that's super dope, and vice versa. But that is the one thing I cannot do with her music. And that
really,
I tried, man.
Yeah.
I really did, because I wanted her. Well, I still want her to win, obviously, but yeah, I just can't get past the voice. And with me, that's a big thing. Like, there's a lot of artists that people like, they love, but if I can't get past the voice or the flow along with the voice, and we'll get to that later when we talk about ones that we just can't get past. There's a couple artists that people like, but I can't do it, man. I physically cannot. And yeah,
I'm with you, man.
Unfortunately, man.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I hear that, man. I hear that.
So what, got 2 more?
Yeah, 2 more each, voice wise.
All right, man. So I don't want to fright anyone obvious. I'm gonna save one for last, I think. But I've got to throw Redman in there. I have to throw Redman in there. Redman's voice, there is a dark side, Redman voice. That is just a different type of animal. Because whenever he was featured on the track, I just knew he was going to destroy that shit. And it wasn't just what he was saying. It was the way it wasn't just his voice. It was the way he would bounce over these beats, man. And his voice just fit his flow perfectly. If you listen to the Cypress Hill remix that he did with Eric Sermon, MC8, we've spoken about it before. But you listen to his voice on there, and then you listen to everyone else on there, and he just stands out. It's not just because of what he was saying; it's because of his voice as well. So yeah, around that time, sort of 90, even his debut album, really. So sort of like 92, all the way up to like whatever, 99-ish. His voice, man, definitely made him stand out on a lot of the tracks he was doing. So yeah, man,
agreed, man. That excitable but not shouting, but elevated. It was just you knew he was coming, man. Oh yeah, when he hit, man. Yeah, no, I feel that, man. Who am I gonna go with? I'm looking at my list because I've got so many, as you know. I'm gonna throw out another wild card. I'm gonna go with Ito. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ito.
That's another one. That's bad.
Funny. That's funny. Yeah, and I get it. That's why I'm throwing out these voices, because I get it, and it's weird because I totally understand. Like, if someone says like Sarah God or Stove God or Ito, like, I get it, bro. Like, it's not even something I'd be like, me. I get it. You get me? But I like it, man. I definitely like it. Like, there's something just about it. I was gonna go with Flea as well, but Ito's got that more. Like I said, it's got that thin line between liking it and not. And for me, it's a very thin line, and I'm just borderlining on the edge of liking it. But yeah, I'm a fan. There's certain times, and I think there was a certain time, and I thought to myself, do I actually like his voice? Like, or not? I wasn't sure if it bugged me or not. But then I'm like, yeah, no, I'm cool with it. Cool with it. But then obviously that Ito Brigante album just solidified it for me, man.
Was that the one that he did about Carlito's Way?
Yeah, bro. That's the one. That's just too sick for me. That's a personal classic for me. I don't know if anyone else would deem it as such, but incredible for me, man. That's one of the projects I gave 5 mics to recently, and I don't give 5 mics out very often, especially not to a lot of newer work, because the nostalgia's not there. But that love it, man. But yeah, Ito, man, I'm gonna go with that voice for real.
All right, man. There's so many more, but like I'm avoiding all the blatant ones like Meth, Cube, Snoop, all that. I'll try to stay away from all the blatant ones. Yeah. So I'm gonna go. Oh shit, man. I would have said Sean Price, but I've already said Rock, so I'm gonna sway away from that one. Okay. So I'm gonna go for. I think I might have said this before, but fuck it. Lord Have Mercy. If you haven't heard Lord Have Mercy on the track, then you need to. Like, as soon as that man's voice comes in, it's a whole different shit coming out. So 100%. Him and Busta together on tracks, disgusting. Get Off My Block. If you haven't heard that recently, turn the volume up, turn the bass up, and just play that shit. That is one of the hardest songs ever. And Lord Have Mercy destroys that shit, man. So yeah, whenever he was featured on the joint, I'm always like, yeah, I need to hear what he's coming with. And a lot of that was due to his voice.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I think it was the was it MOP's album when what was that?
Oh, Home Sweet Home.
Home Sweet Home. And I remember thinking, this guy, we know he's got a sick voice and we know his verses are sick as well. But I was thinking this guy could actually be like no disrespect to the dog, but I felt like this guy could actually be like a Nate Dogg, like in a sense where his voice could really be sick for a lot of hooks, you know what I mean? But never really saw that. But yeah, definitely he's got that voice, man. I agree with that. But I'd like to have heard more, to be honest. Definitely. I don't think he done anything after that.
His album never actually dropped, because I think in between them, the Flip Mode moving label, I think that album, Raw Digger's second album, they both got shelved because of the label folding. So we never got to hear them. And the second Flip Mode album, I never got to hear
that. Shame. All right, then you mentioned some of the obvious ones. You said you're not going to mention, like you said, I think you said Cube and a few others, Meth and that. I booted those, had them down. I had Chuck D, obviously. Do you know what I mean? These are voices that are obvious. Be Real, Cypress Hill. Do you know what I mean? So I just wanted to say them, to give them obviously an honourable mention, a shout, mate, for forgetting them. I know people will be watching thinking, how can you not mention Chuck D? Probably, man, you know that. Yeah, if I've said it before, if hip hop was a religion, Chuck D would be the god. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be his voice you expect to be narrating life. Like, it's gonna be Chuck D's voice. Yeah. Right, I'm gonna go with my last one. Sport for choice. I'm gonna cheat, bro. I'm gonna say 2. Sorry, man. I'm gonna go with Ghostface and Raekwon, man. So I was trying to think who to say. Ghostface's voice from the beginning, from Enter the 36 Chambers, Enter the Wu-Tang to now, still Ghost voice, sick. We know that high pitched, elevated voice. I love it, man. I'm not even going to spend too much time at that. So Ghostface. Not only is he one of my favorite MCs, but one of my favorite voices in hip hop to this day still. But early Raekwon, I say early Raekwon specifically because I know you and everyone watching and listening will understand what I'm talking about. Early Raekwon's voice was one of the sickest, man. But there was at one point in his career around the Shaolin v Wu-Tang album, he just started rapping differently, bro. Like he started doing this monotone, unhyped, unbothered type of rapping. Like to this day, I don't even know why. Maybe you know, when we grow, we change. Maybe he just didn't have that type of energy no more. But after a while, the old Ray came back again on that The Wild album. The old Ray came back.
That album.
I like that album, bro. Yeah, that for me felt like Cuban Links Ray. You know, not the album, but that feel was like Cuban Links Ray again. But yeah, all that stuff in between, he was doing this sort of like, you know what I mean, like make furs on my life. I'm like, bro, like I just stayed
like
Raekwon.
that Feel album, and there was stuff like that. I was like,
it was just weird, man. But exactly, it's like that's not what we want from Ray. We want that high energy, man. Do you know what I mean? So early Ray, love that, man. But yeah, they're gonna be my choices for some of my favorite voices. So who you got for your last one?
Honorable mention, I'll have to give to Stove God. I really like his voice. But again, that could be polarizing. And I think sometimes a lot of the times when it comes to the voice, it's how they use it as well. So the way that you flow on a track and stuff like that, your voice will lend to that. Sometimes if your voice is rubbish and your flow is also rubbish, that makes me just not be able to listen to you. But if you ain't got the greatest voice, but your flow is sick, I could still probably tap into that.
Right.
But with Stove God, I think he's got both because he kind of plays with a beat like a cat with like a ball of wool kind of thing. Yeah. And he's talking about the hardest shit. But if you hear his voice, you wouldn't pair that with what he's talking about, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I really like his voice. And one more honorable mention, Dark Low. Dark Low's voice is sick.
Yes, bro.
Has like
100%.
If I listen to Dark Low music, man, listen, I've got to drive my car at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
I'm gonna slam my money down on the counter, walk out, not even say thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tip the waitress. I'm just gonna walk out. Like it gives you that energy. I can't explain it, but music, man, it does something to me. I love that dude, man. He's so good, and his voice, it just cuts through. And when he works with V-Don, I don't know what it is, but whenever he has V-Don producing, bro, he just sounds so much better. Yeah, man, his voice is crazy. I love it.
That's a great shout, bro. I was listening to that Charlie Pope the other day, man, and I was like, probably what day is it today? Yeah, it's probably about 3 days ago. And I was thinking, this is, you know what, bro? His work, I don't know what it is. I almost forget about him. And then if I'm like got my playlist on a shuffle or a song comes on, I'm like, oh, man, it's like,
this guy's crazy.
Listening to his like the whole album again or something. But that Extreme Measures, bro, I was listening to that for weeks. Yeah, him and Have. Yeah, I was listening to that for weeks.
Think he's missed, man. To be honest with you, everything he drops, I love. Like Charlie Pope 2 came out the other day. That dope. Yeah. Charlie Pope was good. Timeless was dope. The other one he did with V-Don, that was like an EP, had like Grandma's Window and stuff on there. Dope.
Yeah.
Like he's got so much good projects under his belt, but I don't know why he doesn't get mentioned more, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Yeah. No, it's true, man. But no, he really is, man. I think he's sick. And yeah, every time I think of him, I think, oh yeah, and I get lost again, and then I forget again, and I get lost again. I don't know what it is, man. But yeah, he's very good. Man. I know we're losing on voices, but really quickly, what do you think of Daniel's son's voice?
Yeah, I like it. I like Daniel's son. He feels very it's very grimy, like whenever you're at, it's just very I like Daniel's son a lot.
Yeah. I just thought of that when we was talking about V-Don. Sorry, what's it called? Dark Low. But yeah. All right, so I tell you what, we're gonna look at flows, but really quickly while we're talking about voices, just throw out 5 that you don't like. We don't take it in terms of anything. Just throw out 5 that you don't like. I'll do the same, and then we'll look at flows.
Mace, I can't listen to Mace. He sounds like a Make-A-Wish kid. He sounds dumb. He sounds stupid. He sounds like he dribbles when he talks. I can't do it, bro. I can't. Freeway.
Whoa. Who? Who did you say?
I can't listen to a Freeway.
Nah, same,
man.
Same.
I've got nothing but respect for Freeway. And everything that he's.
I'm still laughing at the dribble thing, bro.
But I just can't listen to Freeway, man. I just cannot do it. I've tried, but I can't. Cameron, I cannot do Cameron at all.
Wow.
His voice.
Wow. I love Cam. Love Cam,
bro. And paired with the flow, just pissed me off, man. I just can't do it. I just can't do it, man. I tried. I swear, I can't remember what album it was. I think it was a Diplomats album, but I was actually listening to it at work, and I knew it because I bought it on the way in or something. So I thought, let me just listen to it while I'm doing whatever. Bro, I literally ejected it and I flung it just across the desk. I remember my girl was like, that bad, yeah? I was like, bullshit. Like, I just couldn't do it.
Wow.
It was like, every beat was these chipmunks, and then his voice, I hated it. Didn't work for me.
Wow.
Who else is there? I've got to say AZ. I don't like his voice. I don't like the way he pronounces certain words. It sounds like he can't say his R's properly. And that just annoys me. It's weird, but I just can't do AZ either.
You know how I feel about AZ anyway.
And I guess I'll have to throw out Be Real as well. Some people love. I mean, I don't dislike it, but it's not his voice. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he don't. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like he's putting it on.
He purposely puts that voice on when he raps. When you hear him speaking, he don't sound like that. So if it was his voice, I'll be like, all right, cool, that's your voice. But that's not his rapping voice. And it works for the music he does, but in general, not really.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, I'll probably leave it there for now. And Sarok, like we said before, I just can't do her voice, man. I've tried, but I can't do it. So I'll have to leave it at that.
All right. Like we said, we spent some good time talking about voices we like, so I'm gonna fly through the dislike ones. Boldy James, first of all, can't do that. For obvious reasons. It's just way too
monotone.
Yeah, I can't do it. It's not even just a monotone. It's like it's just boring. It's like
he sounds like he's just woken up. Like on every track, it sounds like he's yawning. I just haven't got him, to be honest. I don't get it.
I can't do it, bro. And it. Sorry, but then them drumless beats and even Alchemist production ain't helping him. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, anyway. So yeah, can't do Boldy. Can't do Common either. And he's another one. Yeah, he's another one who I know is a lyrical guy. Like I rate him in a sense of his catalogue, what he means to the culture. Lyrically, I can't sit through a Common song. I can't. He sounds way too bunged up for me, and it sounds hypocritical because I love Biggie, and Biggie sounds bunged up at times. You get me? But
that's bad. I don't know. I said a tweet about that a few months, maybe a year ago or so. People found it funny, but I was like, I'm serious. Like I can't. Like he sounds like he's got a permanent cold. Like he really does.
He does.
But I don't mind. I don't mind Common's voice.
Nah,
it's weird.
You shouldn't be listening to music and feel like you want to go and blow your nose. You know what I mean? No. But lyrically, hey, I rate the brother highly. You get me? And just for the cold.
Have I got a cold? Shit, do I need some Vicks?
Yeah, exactly. I got rid of that last week. But yeah, no, I can't do that. But so yeah, Common, Boldy, 9. Remember 9?
9 voice. You don't like 9,
bro? I can't do that, man. Bro, can you? Nah, that's why. Nah, like I liked his song that he came out with. What you want?
Rap. My throat used to hurt just listening to him rap.
That's what I'm saying. You feel the pain for him. Like imagine him touring. Like bro, you're gonna have no voice left. But
he sounded like that every time he used to talk and rhyme. Yeah.
Can't do it, man. And then it's like he's melodic with it as well. It's like I like What You Want, 9. Don't get me wrong. That single smashed. I like that. And I had it, played it. You know what I mean? I've never owned his album, but I've heard it. But I owned the single. I did like that and bought it, but I couldn't sit through a whole album of that. Nah, that's just too much.
Fire, bro. The album was crazy.
I can't, bro. I remember him having some decent tracks on there, but like I said, I've never owned it. But yeah, nah. I think my sister had it actually, but yeah, nah, I can't do that.
Let me throw Ja Rule's voice on the ones I can't tolerate either. Let me throw that shit on there. Nearly forgot.
Yeah. If it was just the rapping, all right, but it's a whole bundle of stuff for me because I felt like he's trying to be like,
pay attention, like one of his raps up, like, yeah, that's dope. Like, nah, his voice as well. Get out here, man. Come on.
Yeah, no. That's yeah, no, I can't do that. What did I say? Yeah, West Side Gun. That's an obvious for me. I'm not even going to get into that. Not even going to get into that. Kendrick. Sorry. I know I'm going to be struck off now, but I can't, man. Like for me, and you know why I don't feel bad saying Kendrick, because like what you said about Be Real, that's not Kendrick's voice,
right?
So it's like he slips into this alter ego, like what Nicki does when she is Roman. It's just weird, and that's the only word I can say. It's just weird. So even though his artistry is probably one of the best right now, like there's no debate in that, like, but I just feel like the weird moments that he slips into, like I can't do them, and it just makes me not enjoy it. So that's why I have debates with some people, and they're like, how can you not feel Kendrick? It's like, I respect Kendrick, but I can't listen to him like that, man. Like, it's just weird for me. From the first time I heard him, I thought something just felt weird, and then it's just,
you know what's crazy? Like when you see him, because I saw him perform when Good Kid came out, and he don't sound like that. Well, at that time he didn't. Anyway, he didn't put them voices on for his show. He just sounded, and when he's rhyming like regular, he's dope. But when he starts putting on that high pitched and he sounds like a little girl, then I'm like, yeah, I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. When he's just rapping normally and flowing and doing his thing, I can take that. But it's just when he slips in, and he does that a lot. So it's almost like you're enjoying a track, and then who's just appeared on record. It's like, I don't even know who that person is. It's just weird. Do you know what I mean?
He does this thing where he kind of goes into like a low whisper, and then he does this thing where he goes high pitched, like a little child. Then he goes into his regular voice. And I get it. People in the studio might be like, use your voice, like use your inflections. You do sometimes, no, just rap, bro. Just
rap. Just be who you are. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. So, and like I said, respect wise, obviously, but I can't listen to too much of him, and that's the truth. Last one I'm going to throw out is, I say recent Eminem. Reason I say recent Eminem because early M, I would have put him down as one of my favorite voices. A lot of times people, I don't like that whiny, squeaky. No, that Eminem, I love that Eminem. Them first 3 albums, like high pitch Eminem, I love that voice. I love that Eminem. But when he started doing that, I'm not afraid, like all that, nah, I couldn't. Like, nah, I can't do that, man. It's like, nah, I just started to feel. And like I said about Raycon, maybe you just get to a certain point, you don't want to do that no more. And that's fine. That's cool. We all grow and change, you get me? But for me, I can't listen to it no more. And it grates on me. It's too aggressive. Like, I don't mind aggressive voices. I love MLP, but it's just a weird aggressive. Like, it sounds like you're in pain.
It was almost like he was trying to do like rock meets rap kind of. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was just weird. Even when I first heard, what's that song? He produced it himself, The Way I Am.
Yeah.
And that was a big tune. Like everyone, like, well, not everyone, but a lot of people like
actually love that. Still do.
Yeah, like a lot of people do. And I don't dislike it, but his voice, that was the first time his voice pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because up until that point, he was just rhyming like aggressive, but kind of playful. But that song, and I get it, he was expressing that he was pissed off, he was angry.
That's why it didn't feel. That's why it worked.
That's why it didn't feel forced.
You get me?
Yeah. But I still didn't like it because it came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it, and I was like, "Why is this dude shouting? What's that for?" And he kind of adopted that for a lot of his later work. So anything kind of mid 2000s on, he hasn't swayed back to where he was before. No. So I totally get you, man.
Yeah. Because I remember listening to the Music to Be Murdered by. Lyrically, he's still like okay. Do you get me? Like Kamikaze wasn't even too bad, but it's just I just can't listen to it because it's like, man, I can't. So I'm not one of these people that diss Eminem, because I think Eminem, prime Eminem, incredible MC. But yeah, I just can't do it now. Definitely not.
I don't know how you sat
so
through
yeah.
that album, man. Like, that was terrible to me. Man had Ed Sheeran and all kind of nonsense going on that album. And then it was long. I swear, and he brought out a part 2, and I think in total there was like 30-something songs. And I was
Yeah,
like,
I didn't hear the second
no
one.
way.
Because I listened to the one where he was draped in the flag, and then I weren't
Oh,
feeling
that
at all.
was Revival. The Revival.
Yeah, that was awful. But then he dropped Kamikaze, and I thought, this actually ain't too bad.
As an apology for the previous album.
Yeah, that felt more like older M. So then obviously I made the mistake of listening to Music to Be Murdered By, because I thought Kamikaze was all right. But now I think the Eminem show, maybe Encore, if I'm being generous, but I think Eminem show is his last quality album. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last time I checked, moments on Encore as well. But after that, I could literally do without anything else after that. But yeah, okay. So what we do, just as we're wrapping up, talk about voices we like, voices we don't. We're going to just talk about some flows. We're not going to talk about flows we don't. We're just going to talk about a couple, maybe just 3 each flows that we really feel. I'll kick off. You mentioned him earlier. I want to say Meth. This is just flow now, not even voice. I say Meth. I think pound for pound, flow for flow, Meth has actually got one of the sickest flows in hip hop for me. Like, you can listen to Method Man, yeah, but I mean, even you listen to the first album, yeah. He had that thing about him. If there was going to be anyone that he was reciting or flowing along with, that effortless type of. I'm trying to think of a verse that specifically sticks in my head, and it's not coming to me now. But whenever I hear Meth, whether it's an old verse, even a new verse, all of his Meth Lab albums that he's dropped recently, his flow's on point. He just doesn't have that standout classic. And I know people will say Takao is, the Bible, but it's not. I don't care what anyone says. It's not a classic like that. But Meth's flow, if we're just talking flow and not talking catalog or classics, just flow, Meth is probably one of the best flowers of all time for me personally. Had to say Meth straight away. I think his flow is incredible.
Fair play.
His flow.
Let me add in there Drake's voice. Put him on there. I can't take that.
Yeah.
Either. Sorry to revert back.
Add it to the list.
Yeah. Flow. All right, I'm gonna throw not a curveball even. He fully deserves it. 8 Ball from 8 Ball MJG.
Yeah.
Is like pouring Baileys over ice. That shit just goes perfectly. I could listen to his raps all day, man. I love how and MJG as well. He finds some pockets in the beat. You're like, how did you find that? Both of them. I love both of their flows, man. The way that they both, like it feels like 8 Ball is kind of just floating, just like saying this shit, and then MJG comes with a completely different pocket, but it fits perfectly, man. So yeah, man, I gotta say both of them dudes for real.
Yeah, good shout. Both of them. I prefer MJG if I had to pick, but both of them, 8 Ball's got that smooth flow, man. No doubt about that.
Proper.
Definitely. I was gonna go with Twister, but I'm not gonna do Twister.
I was gonna say Twister too. He was next on my list.
Oh, was you? Sorry, but I should have even mentioned. I'm gonna go with Busy Bone. Busy Bone specifically. Crazies, Lazy and Crazy. I'm not a big fan of Wish, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of Wish, to be honest. And I don't like Flesh's flow. It's too timid. But so Crazy and Busy for me are the 2 best. But the reason I say Busy and not Flesh is because Busy borderlines singing with it. Like, I know they all do, hence the in harmony, but I think Busy's flow is incredible. Like, whether he's getting mad aggressive, not just fast, slowing it right down, singing. I just think Busy is an impressive MC, flow-wise. And when you listen to tracks like For the Love of Money, he just takes it to just a complete other level, man. So yeah, I've always liked Bone. I'm a Bone fan, definitely. But Busy's always stood out to me. So yeah, definitely got to mention Busy.
Yeah, fair enough. I know I said I'll stay away from the obvious, but I don't think it would be right for us to talk about flows and not mention Big, R.I.P.
Yeah, of course.
But for me, I think he's probably the best flow like that I've ever heard personally. And if you think that this was the early 90s, we're now in 2023, and that flow is still impeccable to this day. And he was doing that in his early 20s, bro. Like, it's just insane. But when I was listening to Young G's the other day, and I was just like, that flow, bro, it's just yeah. He was finding pockets on tunes that no one else was really able to replicate. I think Nas was saying something about he was in the studio with him when he was making that joint, and he was like, "Yeah, nah, I'm not following that."
he destroys that.
He was just really different, bro. He was an animal. He was absolutely different, and yeah, the flows were just immaculate on
effortless,
all
man.
Effortless.
Yeah. So true, man.
He never had to be like, "Oh, how do I attack?" He just did it. He just did it, and you could tell when someone's just naturally brilliant at what they do, and he was just one of them. He was just one of those guys.
No, I couldn't agree more, man. What came on the other day, and I was like, right, victory, him, Puff thing, and just I know it's so commonly used, but just that bit when he goes, what's it? On nights I perform like Mike, anyone, Tyson, Jordan, Jackson, Action, Pat Gun. It's just like it's just, you know what I mean? It just makes it seem so easy. You know what I'm saying? It's just definitely sick flow. Sorely missed. Last one I'm going to throw out. This is definitely a curveball because I don't really hear people mention him for flows. And obviously, we could have said so many more, but I want to say Daz Dillinger, man. Daz Dillinger is actually, bro. Like, not even talking about bars or voices in particular, but his flow. Like, when you just listen to Daz rap, like, it's not even the smoothness of it. It's just tight. Like, his flow is actually like when you listen to, I was listening to Game's song, West Side, and I was thinking it was the only song I liked off of that Born to Rap album, if that was the one that was off. And then I was listening to it one day and I thought, why do I like this track so much? And I thought he's actually rapping just like Daz. Do you know what I mean? The flow was just like Daz.
I think I skipped through the album. Is that the one with the pregnant chicks on the front?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when they're all in the studio and that. I'm sure it's the album off. But that was the only song I liked. I listened to it and I was like, that's the only song I took off of it. You know what I mean? Then I'm thinking, what? And it's the flow. It's just so tight but loose. It's just like the epitome of West Coast flows. It's like Daz. I was listening to his debut the other day, Retaliation, Revenge, and Get Back. Underrated gem. Like,
nah, that's a good album.
We know this.
Yeah,
we know this, man. But just listening to it again recently, as I hadn't spun it for a couple of years, listening to it again recently, and I'm like, this is actually so insane. But Daz's flow, especially on that track, Our Daily Bread, and on the actual title track, bro, his flow is insane. Like, but no one ever really thinks, oh, Daz can actually really rap. When you think of Daz, you think of his production, which is fine. Yeah. But Daz rapping, he's a dope rapper, man. Like, he really is. Like, his flow is well.
I'll never forget this either. I don't know why it sticks in my head so much, but I was watching Your MTV Raps when Dog Food was coming out. And they was talking about, it was an interview with Corrupt and Daz, and he was talking about the album, blah, 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 blah. Corrupt said, we are the West Coast version of EPMD. And I was like, nah, I'm not buying that. But when I thought about it, I was like, I don't agree with him, but I see what he's saying. So Daz would obviously be like the Eric Sermon side. He's doing like the beats and whatever. But then I think you're right. I think Daz he's put in a couple verses. I'm like, like I've never thought he was whack. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, people that were really good at making beats, they weren't good at rapping. And that's why when Kanye was saying that he wanted to be a rapper, people were like, bro, just stick to making beats, because it just wasn't common that people were good at both. Yeah. And I think if you actually do think about it, look at the people that he's rapped with, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'd be there with the greatest that we've heard, like, you know what I mean? Like Pac and Snoop and all of these kind of people. And he's never been like, he wouldn't ever have like the best verse, but there's many
Nah,
times where it's like he's not drowning. Do you know what I mean? So I don't
exactly.
think he gets. I think you're right. I don't think he gets the respect that he should,
Nah.
and definitely as a producer, definitely not. As a
Ah,
producer.
bro. That's a whole nother kettle of
Like a
fish.
lot of his
Definitely, man.
beats are insane, bro.
Insane.
Seriously,
I'm sure he shadow produced a lot of stuff that Dre got credit for as well.
definitely.
You
I
know what
don't
I
think
mean?
that's a
But
secret either.
I was gonna say, Dog Pound's more like, it would make more sense if Corrupt said there was more like a West Coast Mob Deep, because with Corrupt being Prodigy, I feel like Daz suffers the same fate that Havoc suffers.
That's
Havoc
a good
can
shout,
rap,
That's
bro.
a good shout. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Havoc can rap. He's got a sick voice as well. Havoc can rap. Truth be told, I've said it before. Havoc was my first. I preferred Havoc's rapping over Prodigy's at first. Do you know what I mean? Like, at first, I was like, Havoc's actually. I enjoyed listening to Havoc rap more than I did Prodigy. Now it's
Prodigy was
changed, and
always a
obviously,
star for me, but I can totally understand where you're coming from.
do you
I
see
was
what I'm
listening
saying?
to Hell on Earth the other day, and I was like,
Right.
Havoc is actually disgusting.
Oh, he can rap. I've said that. He's probably the best rapper slash
Ridiculous.
producer. Like, he
Easy.
is, and he suffers the same fate. You think of Havoc, you think of production.
Yeah,
You never think of rapping. You think of Daz, you think of production. You never think of rapping.
But that's because
And
the
it's
beats are
because the
so
people they're
good
with,
and the raps just aren't as good as
right?
the beats. So that's what I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
exactly. And the people they're with are both
Exactly. I was just
deemed
gonna
as
say,
top
yeah,
tier rappers.
exactly.
Yeah, Corrupt
Corrupt
Prodigy.
and Prodigy. Come on, man. If they were with anyone
Think about it.
else, they would have stood out more. But the people that was
Exactly.
next to them, you was like, rah, these guys are like elite. So
Right.
yeah.
That's where their thing came in. But
That's a good
but
shot.
yeah,
That's a really good shot.
yeah, man. But yeah, that's who I throw out, man. So did you say your last one for
No,
Flo?
I got one more, but I'm gonna do another
Yeah.
one mention. So I'm gonna say Freddie Gibbs. His flow is absolutely incredible.
Yes.
Because if he was doing a trap song, he's not gonna sound out of place over doing, like, he did a freestyle over 93 to Infinity, and he absolutely killed it. And his flow is so like elastic, like he can rap over any type of beat. So you can go from rapping over a Madlib beat to rapping over an Alchemist beat to rapping over a trap beat, and he can kill it
so good
every time. That's what I love. No, that's adaptable. Like, I feel like Biggie, if he was alive, I reckon he could easily rap over a trap beat and kill it, because he adapts his flow to just kill whatever. And I can't remember who said it, but they said the greatest rappers can rap over, they can kill any beat. And I totally agree with that. The greatest rappers can kill anything. Like, I would like to hear Future over like a DJ Premier beat, because all these people that will say, oh, these rappers are the greatest. All right, cool. Put him over one of these beats, because if you can only do one style of rapping, I don't think you could be considered the greatest. I think if you can adapt and, you know what I mean, and have that longevity, then I think you're in contention. Next to him, my last one, Big Boy from Outkast. I also think Andre's flow is incredible.
Salute.
But
but now Big Boy flow.
Big Boy's flow, man, is Big Boy's flow is disgusting.
Fully agree.
Believe me, go back and listen to Southern Playalistic. Listen to what my man is doing to those beats on that album. That's what I got to say.
Once again, because he's joined up with someone who's a top tier lyricist that gets all the praise, you forget. Well, you can forget. But Big Boy, see, I feel like I'm lying now, bro. I feel like I'm lying. Only God can tell you I'm not, bro. But seriously, once again, I always rated Big Boy like more than Andre. When I first really started listening to
album first came out, Big Boy was the star, and no one's going to tell me nothing different. Big Boy was the star of Outkast, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Me and my boys were rapping Big Boy's verses, especially on that Hootie Hoo track, and the deep track where he's like beat the living shit out of bro. I'm telling you, Big Boy was the man on that album. No one's going to tell me any different.
Nah, 100%. They're two good picks, man. When you said Freddie Gibbs, it just broke my heart again, because see, when people say, "Oh, why do you collect physicals?" I can't remember the album it is now. Oh, the album title's gone for me, but there's a song I love from Freddie Gibbs, one of my favorites. It's called Careless. Yeah, and it's got the George Michael sample. Now, I had that on streaming. I don't own that album physically. So I used to always rinse that album, bro. Then I made the swap from Apple to Spotify. And then I'm looking for the track Careless. And I'm like, where is it?
Lost it all.
Some sample clearance issue. He had to pull it off the album. So I can't ever hear that song again. And these are things why we collect physicals
That's
when
why
we can.
I own my music. That is exactly the reason why.
Right, exactly. Or we buy it, download it, buy it, it's there.
That's
but
it.
yeah,
Exactly.
gutted, bro. I went to listen to Careless one day, but I was thinking, am I going mad? Is he changed the title track or what? I'm Googling it, trying to find where is it? Some copyright something, man. Sample clearance had to pull the track, bro.
Wow.
But yeah, the reason I mention that track is because his flow on that is just ridiculous, man.
There's what
his flow.
Freddie Gibbs does a lot of fuckery outside of music, but when you hear that man rapping, he can rap over like that Alfredo album. I don't care what anyone says. With him and Alchemist together, like people talk about him and Madlib as they should, because Madlib gave him some beats, and you're just like, he raps the way you wouldn't even expect him to over some of those beats, but he kills it every time.
Yeah,
but Alfredo, man, he just killed every beat on there. So yeah, man, big respect.
Is it God is Good, the opening track? No. Is it God is Good?
Nah, what on Alfredo? It was like 1987 or 1985 or something like that.
And he's got a track on there, God is Good or something. I love that track. Other than that, I don't really revisit that much if I'm honest.
Man, I listened to that album so much when it came out.
Yeah.
So much. God is Perfect.
That's a good shout. Sick flow. Good shout.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there you have it. Voices, flows, all that good stuff, man. All that good stuff.
Disagree with us down below, by the way. Like, tell us that we're wrong. That's totally fine. And also tell us who we might have forgotten. But we didn't want to hit the obvious ones, man. We didn't want to hit like the blatant ones that we all know, that we all talk about on the timeline every day. We wanted to try and do something a little bit different. Some people that you might not have expected, or some people that you heard just today and thought, let me go check out that album again. That's what we're here for, man. So hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, we'll be back next week. Who knows? Could be another interview, could be something else. Just got to stick with us and find out. So for me, your boy Slack in the building as always, and my co-host extraordinaire on my left.
Yes, E Major, thank you for sitting with us again. My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip-hop and not just the hype. I want to encourage you, go check out our previous episodes as well. Always trying to bring that fresh dopeness every week for you, man. So yeah, stick with us until next week. Keep it hype, stay blessed. Peace.